Hi, and welcome to Stadco Generators maintenance video. We're going to show you how to change the oil filter, fuel filter, air filter, and the oil in this section of the video. And that is to be done every 250 hours of operation. And then we're going to show you how to change the coolant or engine antifreeze, which is to be done every 2 years of operation. I need to point out that the first points of maintenance we're going to cover here are at the 250 hour interval. Some of the points later on will be at the 400 hour interval or even 2 years. So at this point we're going to do 250 hours, which is the oil, and the oil filter is the first thing we'd remove. It's important when applying the new filter that you add some oil to the gasket and then install it until the gasket touches the engine. At that point, we're going to rotate one more half turn. Now the filter is tight. We're going to go on to draining the oil. The oil drain hose is the larger of the two hoses, this being the coolant, this is engine oil. With the engine oil warm to 100 degrees Fahrenheit, it will drain out more quickly. There are two locations to refill the oil, one on the front cover and one on the valve cover on top. Fill the crankcase with oil until it is at the full mark on the dipstick, located on the front side of the engine. You always want to maintain the oil level between the low mark and the full mark, preferably at the full mark, but do not overfill the oil. When the oil level is full, replace the cap, and now the oil change is complete. Also at the 250 hour interval, the V-belt should be checked for proper tension. You can do this by removing the guard. Remove the bolts that hold the guard in place. Remove the guard. Proper tension on the V-belt should allow for 10 to 12 millimeters of movement with firm pressure. If the belt does need to be adjusted, loosen the top bolt, loosen the bottom bolt in the back, rotate the alternator out. Also at the 250 hour interval, the air filter should be checked. If it appears to be dirty, it should be removed by pulling out. Install the new filter element by pushing it all the way in. Also, the dust ejector will need to be removed and cleaned. Replace the dust ejector and replace the filter cap. Engine coolant needs to be replaced every 2 years. We need to drain the complete system and refill it. We can do that by removing the cap on the coolant drain hose. Again, allow the engine to cool before attempting to remove coolant. When the coolant is drained, replace the cap and retighten. When the coolant is removed from the engine, we also need to empty the coolant reservoir. You can remove it from its bracket, remove the cap, empty the reservoir. After you remove the coolant from the reservoir, reinstall it onto its bracket. Refilling the cooling system can be done at the radiator cap. Fill the system completely full. Refill the coolant reservoir to the lower mark and replace the cap. Inspect the radiator cap for good condition. Tighten the cap all the way and remove any spillage. The fuel system on your Cellpac generator has two filters. One filter is located in line between the fuel tank on your vehicle and the inlet of the genset. The secondary fuel filter is located on the engine and can be removed by pulling forward from the bracket and loosening the clamps. After loosening the clamps, you will want to keep a rag handy to catch any spillage. When installing the new filter, be sure to connect the lower hose to the lower fitting and the upper hose to the upper fitting. Insert it onto the bracket and retighten the clamps. When replacing the fuel pre-filter in line, be sure to find the arrow for direction of flow. After the filter has been installed and the clamps are tight, you will activate the start system, and the preheat glow plugs will be running at the same time the fuel pump is running. With the fuel pump running, open screw number 1 on the left until all the air has escaped. Retighten that screw. Then open screw number 2 until any air bubbles have escaped. Retighten screw number 2. You may need to reactivate the start sequence to get the fuel pump to run again. With the fuel pump running, you can open the bleed screw on the injection pump until solid fuel and no air is coming out. Retighten the bleed screw, and at this point the engine can be started. Periodically, the rear cover should be removed to check for debris that would be blocking the cooler. The radiator is located inside the rear cover. Visually inspect the radiator core for debris. If any debris is visible, it can be removed with a shop vac or by blowing compressed air from the bottom of the core up. Once the radiator core has been cleaned, replace the rear cover. Thanks for joining us today. We hope that with the proper care and maintenance, your generator will run for many years to come. Please contact us with any questions you have. You can reach out to us at our website or 800 number.